Hey, I'm Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Chase.
And I'm Matt from Thrash Mania.
Hey, and you're watching Heavy Metal Breakdown. Um, Matt is back for his monthly appearance. Thank you for coming back, Matt. Um, and we've got a couple of records to talk about, and why don't we just get right into it? Chase, what is our first album for review today?
Let's see, today our new album is Warthrash, No Light Shall Remain. Released June 19th, 2026 on Awakening Records. This is the Colombian outfit's second full-length release.
Yes, they do have a couple of EPs though, as well.
Yeah.
So I went back and I checked out, the back catalog, and like solid death thrash, but like very thrashy, right? This one, I think we're leaning more just into straight death metal, but it's so tasty. It's got given me some like if Bloodbath were a South American supergroup, that's kind of a
Yeah.
bit of the vibe I'm getting here. What do you guys think?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Matt,
good.
go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, the way I was had it is it's basically like Morbid Angel and Dismember combined to write a Vader album
Ooh.
because the way I see it is
Ooh.
it's got that sort of deicide flavor to it in the sense that it's kind of like infernal is the way I would call it, like dark, say almost
Ah,
satanic
okay.
sometimes.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of parts where it's got that thick Dismember sort of tone to it, and then it has parts where it has that just kind of high speed kind of Vader like way about it, where it's like Vader is kind of just a thrash band just turned up to infinity, and so it has all those different things kind of pulling on the sound. And I like that it doesn't sort of stick with one. So I feel like there would be some times in the record where it's got like a heavy sort of dismemberish part, and then it doesn't stick with it for too long. It'll kind of pick up the speed, get with a like some blast beats, and then it'll have like a deicide style like shouting in the vocals just out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
so it keeps you guessing.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's some really astute observations, man. Thank you. Chase, how
Straight
about
up.
you,
Yeah.
man?
Well, I liked how it started off. Track one was a nice acoustic arrangement. All like
Yeah.
it put you in the perspective of battery or Fight Fire with Fire, and
Mm-hmm.
then boom, just pulls a rug out underneath you in track two, Culebra Sin Honor.
Yeah.
Geez, just yeah, and then before you know it, you're buried under a mountain of corpses, high caliber shells, and monstrous death metal just playing everywhere. I loved it,
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah. I think this is great. Like I really like, it's like death metal, but they're not shying away from their thrash roots. And shit, I had something and it kind of floated away. I'm so sorry. But I thought this was terrific. It sounds great. Oh, I was gonna say a lot of melody, which is really nice, but I would not call this melodeath by
Oh
uh,
no,
No, definitely
any
not
measure at all.
Melodeath.
Uh, but I think these guys are fantastic players, and this was a really cool record. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Um,
uh,
album. Oh, go ahead, Chase.
go back and listen to track seven, Undefeated. It opens with a Scott Travisy solo that kills the pain just fine if you pick up what I'm putting down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Uh,
was definitely one of my favorites on the album.
yeah. I really love the closer as well, Hollow Existence. I just kept going
Hollow
back to that one a
Existence,
lot. That
yeah.
was really good. But yeah, no, this is a really nice record. I'm glad that we stumbled across this one to talk about. This was cool.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
big
and
on this band back in the day.
Oh, were you? Yeah,
uh,
these
I was
they're
amazed to hear. Yeah, I was on these guys like right from their first EP,
oh, that's
and
awesome.
I was
cool.
excited to see when they came out with something. And I was surprised, but I was also not surprised because there's a couple bands that are like this. They start off like thrash first and death metal second, and then they kind of slowly move to death metal first and thrash metal second, and
Yeah.
it's a very slight difference. Um, I always say is that we need to popularize the term that we use for like black and thrash or black and death, and just use it like thrash and death metal or death and thrash metal because those are two separate things. in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I agree.
I like that, and that's a very interesting thing. Because I've always just guys like South America in general is full of just like a lot of real like what I would just call death thrash, right? Um,
Mhm.
and, it's a lot of stuff that kind of really walks that line, but I feel like the thrash metal, uh, many times is more prevalent in the sound, so it just comes off as being really extreme thrash, whereas this is at least this record, like, okay, death metal in the classic sense, but retaining so many like high energy like thrash elements that I think are still really
Mhm.
key, and that's really cool. I love that you have
Yeah.
been following this band for a long time. Chase and I have just got turned on to them, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had an album
That's
in
cool.
2020. I'm trying to remember what the name was.
I can pull it
I
up.
think it was 2020. Um, Echoes of Pain, and it's an EP.
Yeah,
Really,
Yeah.
really good.
yeah,
Um, and I was like, it's funny is when I saw this on the schedule, I was like, oh, that band came out with it. I remember this band. That like I was like really stoked on it,
oh
and
wow,
it's probably going to end up being one of my favorite full lengths of the year. To be
nice,
honest with you,
yeah,
just because
Damn. Yeah.
that's my favorite style is like just blending thrash and death metal with each other.
I mean,
Because
they are two great tastes that
that's
taste great together. I'll say that.
yeah,
And yeah, if if you're doing death metal, but you got thrash going on in there too, it's a gimme for me. So I appreciate that, Matt, for
mm,
sure. But yeah, I think this is a terrific record. Um,
yeah.
yeah, if we're good here, do we want to move on to our next segment
Sure.
and next
Sure.
record? Chase, tee that up for us if you would, please.
Okay, up next on Chase's classic album, we have Anthrax, State of Euphoria, released September 20th, 1988 on Megaforce Records. This is Anthrax's fourth full-length studio album, and the core lineup remains intact.
Yeah, yeah. I got a lot of history with this record. I mean, I had it on vinyl from when I was a teenager. Came with a hologram sticker. One of those, like I always love when records come with like a pack-in like extra thing. That's always fun. Um, and of course I just wasted, put it on a notebook or something. But um, like you do. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. This album is okay. I think from Anthrax's classic period, it's kind of like the one you can almost skip. Uh, there are people who swear by this one, I think, because it was like a lot of them folks, it's their introduction because of Antisocial and the
Yep.
video being on Headbangers Ball and then them going on the Headbangers Ball tour. But for a thrash metal album, it's not especially thrashy. And why don't we talk about that bit? I mean, you guys pick up the ball for a spell. I'll come back.
Uh, I'll go ahead and yeah, it's definitely missing something. It's not nearly as punchy, not nearly as like there are some, I guess, recycled riffs and whatnot that just uses a lot. Got rather.
Yeah.
And yeah, and this one I up until like when I saw it was on the schedule, I didn't actually listen to this one the whole way through because I always just fucked off halfway through it. I just don't care. It just loses me.
It never really like gains any momentum, like ever. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like a lot of albums, like we talk about having a peaks and valleys, and they kind of take you on this journey. This album is just a bunch of songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Uh. Yeah.
I can't even really properly praise the drum work like I usually do on these albums. It's
Yeah,
just
well,
I don't want to say cookie cutter, but damn close. It's not. There's nothing really special. I'd rather listen to Stomp 442 because it has more.
Oh,
It has more personality than this.
Yeah.
And that's
it
not,
has
that's
a
not a knock.
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's a little context for this. So they were working on this record, and they got the offer to go out and open for Iron Maiden on, I think, it's the Seventh Son of a Seventh Son tour. So they kind of rushed the job on the album, and a lot of the songs are kind of like needed a little more work. They're kind of half cooked. There's only 2 songs from this album that they play live still. Be All End All, and of course Antisocial, which they'll never be able to, omit from the set list. I can live without that song, to be honest. I've heard it so much. But it's like they turned in a rough draft, and called it good, when it needed a little time, a little more time to work on these songs. I mean, there's some good stuff. I mean, I do like I think Make Me Laugh and Who Cares Wins and Now It's Dark. Those are some pretty strong songs, but there's also some pretty weak shit in here too. Who Cares Wins, they even made a music video for it and only played the song live once, which is crazy. Ozzy did that too. It was either Crazy Babies or Shot in the Dark. Big hit song, played live once. It's weird. It's weird. But
interesting.
Yeah, Matt, do you have some thoughts on this record? And feel free to contradict us.
Yeah, well, so here's what I will say is that being from New Jersey, this hits a little bit close to home because I grew up watching Scott Ian in like Yankees basketball shorts like all the time on MTV.
Yeah.
And just growing up in New Jersey being a Yankees fan. And the way it hits close to home is when I was young, I was born in 1987, so I was born in the time of cassettes and the early era of CDs. But on my bus, we used to trade cassette tapes, and a lot of us would make like mixtapes and stuff like that. And someone gave me an Anthrax mixtape that they made of like the first 4 albums. And I remember listening to Antisocial for the first time, and this was probably like 1998. And at that time I had like one best friend, and we would just play Nintendo 64. And we used to listen to that tape just on repeat, playing Nintendo 64 at all hours of the night. And Be All End All and Antisocial and I think it was Schism was on that tape. And so those were like the 3 that I always listen to, like when I'm in the mood to listen to Anthrax. And the thing about this album is it came right in the middle of Among the Living and Persistence of Time, which are arguably what people generally regard as their 2 best albums.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of there in the middle. So my take on it is that it sounds like they tried to just rewrite Spreading the Disease in half the time.
Okay.
Kind of sounds like a lot of the riffs are like recycled from that time. And it's tragic because that it has like a good, I think one of you said it, like it's a good like foundation, but it just needed some work.
Yeah.
And I think in the late 80s, I think they were so wrapped up in what they were doing at the time, and they kind of lost track of what they were doing. But yeah, I liked Schism was like my kind of one that wasn't necessarily like the big one that I kind of liked, that I kind of stuck with.
Yeah.
But I kind of grew up around that band, so
yeah.
I just always keep track of them. I'm Italian from New Jersey. They're all
of
Italian
course.
guys.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and I love that memory that you shared, Matt. I think that is so great.
Yeah.
I love that. Is some core shit, man.
Yeah. Those are some good times back in the days, like trading cassettes. You know what I mean, with your buddies and.
One of my favorite things in the world was making tapes for people.
Yeah.
I love that.
Getting in high school, burning CDs. You know what I mean? Like I had. Yeah. Oh my god! I used to go to CVS, and I used to get that big stack of CDRs.
Yeah.
And I would burn through them in like a month.
Yeah.
Just thinking that I was like the ultimate CD, mixtape maker.
That's cool though. That is cool though. But yeah, I think this album kind of came at a time where Anthrax was blowing up. Oh, we're making a new record and we're gonna go out on tour with Iron Maiden, and they just kind of like it just they just kind of flew through this record, and it sold and it did well, but I think historically it's just not a terribly strong album, especially compared, like you said, in the Among the Living, Persistence of Time, Sandwich. Like Jesus, the bread is the best part. If we're gonna go there.
Well, and there's some people I know that swear by this album is the best one, and I would think to myself, like, really? It makes no sense.
Because here's the thing.
Well, I can't tell anybody what their favorite should be.
Oh, sure. But I think a
Yeah.
lot of people's favorite, whatever the thing is the thing that
That was what
introduced
they
them
heard
to
first.
it. Yeah. And again, like, you know, when Antisocial, that video blew up on MTV, you know, and then they had that big tour with Exodus
Yeah.
and Halloween.
Mm.
This album was huge, and for a lot of people, this was point A for Anthrax. So,
Well, especially on the East Coast too,
sure.
because Metallica, Testament, like Heathen, they're all West Coast bands.
Yeah.
So, you know, Anthrax was like one of those first East Coast bands to really, you know, break into the extreme metal scene, you know, along
Yeah.
with like Overkill
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Um,
it was big. I mean, because it wasn't, we didn't live in such a time where everything was accessible everywhere.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
kind of stayed
Yeah.
with what was close to you back then.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Um,
you know, it's a different era, and so it's interesting to say because we were just talking about my Sodom shirt, and the first album that I listened to on Sodom was Agent Orange, and it just like blew my mind that something could be that aggressive.
yeah.
And it's been my favorite album by Sodom since then.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, I had something. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Oh, I was gonna say, like, you know, we're talking about the time when things were not as easily accessible. I remember just like, you know, like, I think we all have had the experience of like when you're looking for bands and trying to check stuff out, and it's all kind of catch as catch can, and so like you'll be like check out a discography way out of order, and like it might be a long time before you hear like certain ones that maybe people consider key. So it was such a Wild West time, especially for this genre too. So like it was a long time, for example, before I ever heard Fistful of Metal, because that was the hard one to find. But yeah, and I gotta say, I love this album cover. It is so fun. That is such a great thrash metal album cover. Yeah.
Yeah, it's simple, but like it's, you know, it's memorable.
Yeah.
You know.
And I like it just jumps out like, oh, there's the new Anthrax record on the shelf. Let's grab that.
Mhm.
Boom. So
Mhm.
yeah. So I love that.
Yeah, back in the day when you had to go to the actual store and get it,
Yeah, that
you
was
know,
a
and it
thing.
would stick out to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I used to have to wait for my dad to get home from work, and he would take me to Best Buy, and they would have this big wall of all just cassette tapes
Oh man.
that, you know, yeah, he would say, all right, you can have one tape.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on my own for the most part musically, so that's nice. That's nice. But yeah, do we have any final thoughts about Anthrax Day Before You, guys?
No, but I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool, despite the goofy name. Like it just doesn't roll off the tongue, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am looking forward to that new record. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully a tour that will be hitting your city and ours. That would be great. Haven't seen Anthrax in over 20 years, so it would be cool to see them again. I'd like to see them one more time. But yeah, I guess this is a fine place to wrap. Matt, I want to thank you so much for joining us again. Let folks know where they can find you.
Thrash Mania. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
There you go. Thrash Mania is a great source for thrash and death metal band and album recommendations. It's killer, man. Chase, do you have a sign off for us?
I sure do. Thanks for watching Heavy Metal Breakdown. Like, comment, subscribe. And remember, you're not a lady, you're a love bomb, baby.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night.